VLSos here. This is a video lesson on variable. We're going to talk about what a variable is and use variables a little bit. A variable is a letter or symbol that stands for a value that can change. To vary means to change, so a variable is something whose value can change. For example, I can write the expression 3x. This expression contains a number. If it's multiplying a variable, sometimes we call it a coefficient. And in this expression, the letter x is being used as a variable. If we assign a value to that variable, then we can substitute the value in for the variable, which means that we would then write the expression 3x as, which means 3 times x, as 3 times this value that I'm using for x. And we could then simplify because 3 times 7 evaluates to be 21. This is an example of assigning a value to a variable and then substituting. Substitution is something common and important, so we're going to define what we mean by substitution. It is the act of replacing one thing with another thing that is equivalent. In this example, we said if x equals 7, which means that x and 7 are equivalent, then we can substitute in for x that value 7, which then allowed us to continue with the math and produce an answer 21. Let's give another example. If y is equal to 2, and theta is equal to 45, and I'm using this symbol, which is a Greek letter called theta, as an example that variables don't need to always be letters, especially the letters x and y, which are common. A variable could be any symbol, or any symbol could be used to be a variable. In this case, theta is equal to 45. We could be asked to find the value of the expression 90y minus theta. So we have an expression that includes subtraction, a number 90, and 2 variables y and theta. We can evaluate this expression given a value for y and theta and show our work. 90y minus theta, after we substitute 2 in for y, and 45 into theta, becomes 90 times 2 minus the value of theta, 45. Now it's operations. When order of operation, we multiply before we subtract. 2 times 90 is 180. And 180 minus 45 is 135. So we have an example of an expression with two variables, and we substituted values in for those variables. One more example. Here we have an equation, y is equal to 2x plus 1. If we had a value, in this case x is equal to 4, then we could substitute 4 in for x, and we get y is equal to 2. I'm using parentheses now to isolate these two numbers that I'm multiplying. 2 times 4 plus 1, or y is equal to 8 plus 1, which is 9. In this case, we had an equation with two variables. Given a value for one, we were able to find the value of the other.